It's Crystalline Bell. Welcome to the Alchemy Coach School. Alchemy Coach School Lesson 1, Calcination, Burning Away the False Self. Your life is supposed to fall apart sometimes. In classical alchemy, the process of calcination begins with fire. The material being worked, whether it's plant, animal, or mineral, is burned until it disintegrates into ash. This is done to remove impurities and separate what is essential from what is not. In spiritual alchemy, calcination is not a metaphor. It's a stage of transformation that shows up in actual human experience. In this first stage, the part of the self that has been constructed, like your personality, your public identity, your patterns of success and survival, begins to lose its stability. It may start slowly, a discomfort in a role that once fit, a growing dissatisfaction in work or relationships, or a series of events that seem to erode your momentum. But it can also arrive suddenly through illness, loss, breakdown, burnout, or what some call the dark night of the soul. What's important to understand is that this collapse is not a mistake. It is the beginning of a process that's older than your life and bigger than your ego. It's the first step of a system designed to strip away illusion and prepare the psyche for a really big change. So to understand calcination, we need to understand what's being burned. All right. Now, I'm going to pause right here, and I'm going to say that if you are listening to this on one of my social media platforms, you are going to want the worksheet that goes along with this whole unit. Now, in the Alchemy Coach School, you get a worksheet every 2 weeks, and that worksheet integrates and helps you apply all the lessons that we're learning to your life so that you can see alchemy at work in your life. All right. But to get this worksheet, you have to be a member of the Alchemy Coach School. It's absolutely 100% free to join, but you do have to be a member in order to get the worksheet. So go to the link in the comments and grab the get yourself enrolled so that you can get access to the worksheet, okay? All right, so let's move on to the next section of this lesson, which is called the false self. So what is the false self? The false self is not evil, okay? It's not even unhealthy, all right? It's a structure, and it's a useful one. Well, sometimes it's always useful. It's a tool, okay? It's a tool that we build over the course of our lives to survive, to succeed, to be seen, to get what we need to live our lives, okay? Now, the false self is made up of a few different things, okay? It comes into being a few different ways. One way is childhood adaptations. It can come through social conditioning. It can come through religious and cultural impositions or expectations. And it certainly can be part of performance strategies that we've used to gain approval, to avoid abandonment, or to maintain control. It includes your roles, the roles that you play, or the roles that were put upon you, all right? For example, the responsible one, the achiever, the helper, the one who has it all together, okay? Those can sound really good, but those might have been imposed on you, and you might have just kind of adapted yourself to those, but they may not be natural to you, and they might be holding you back. All right, they might be preventing people from seeing who you really are underneath, like your own needs, for example. Your false self can include your masks, okay? So sometimes we wear a mask that is spiritual. I'm going to wear my spiritual mask because I'm going around all these woo-woo people. Or you might put on your religious mask because you're going to hang out with your family and grandma. You're going to work, so you're going to put on your competent mask, and you're going to always be competent no matter what because it's your job and that's what you get paid for, right? But it's not exactly who you are. It could also include your attachments. So, sometimes we cling to those roles. We cling to those masks. We cling to our status. I don't want to lose my status, dude. Darn right, it's an attachment. Your validation, right? It's really uncomfortable to lose validation or to move into a space of being invalidated. And of course, your attachment to being right, it's very uncomfortable to not be right. Your false self is not always dysfunctional. In fact, it often helps you thrive in systems that reward performance over authenticity. But eventually it becomes incompatible with your soul's deeper intention, and that's when calcination begins in your life. So why on earth would your soul call for you to burn up? All right. You got to understand that your soul has an agenda and it has priorities. Its number one priority is truth. Okay. Your ego's priority is, protecting itself, protecting its identity. Your soul's priority is truth. And that truth is your soul, your self, your true self, your higher self, your God self, your monad, right? Your soul is not concerned with how things look, nor is it here to maintain your carefully managed identity. Your soul is here to evolve, and that evolution often requires disruption. So when the false self becomes too rigid, too invested in its own survival, the soul intervenes, right? It will use any available means to interrupt the status quo. This is not cruelty, it is precision. The soul doesn't destroy what's real, it only destroys what's in the way of what's real. You may feel this as grief, or as disorientation, or loss, or a breakdown, okay? You may feel it as an existential sense that nothing is working anymore. What in the world is happening to my life? What is happening to my mind? What is happening to my body? Okay? And, from the perspective of your personality, everything you're experiencing that we've just listed is true. Everything's changing. But from the perspective of alchemy, it's really doing exactly what it's supposed to do, which is burning. Calcination is the burning phase of alchemy. Step 1, calcination. Let's talk about calcination in your coaching, okay? Most people find coaching through some kind of an experience, like they have a breakdown or there's some kind of a reckoning, they're not able to handle it themselves, so they're reaching out, okay? There's a change that's going on. They didn't ask for that change, at least not on a conscious level, okay? And this change asks them to look more deeply at everything that they believed in. And if you're someone who has found yourself in that space, okay, where your old strategies no longer worked, where your identity has felt unstable, where your story, okay, the one that you've been living no longer makes sense, okay? If things are starting to look funky to you and you're getting irritated, you're likely in the calcination phase of your own spiritual development. You're in alchemy. And look, this is not the place to really start building a brand, okay? You don't want to start building anything while you're in the burning phase because everything you're building right now is temporary, all right? You want to build when you get to a more stable place and you have better communication with the divine, all right? Okay, this is not the time to start trying to make things happen, but it is the place where you should start telling the truth. Okay. Now, if you have felt the call to step into coaching, you don't want to bypass this stage. Don't try to rush to be of service before you've taken the time to examine what you're carrying. The coach who's done this work, who's burned through her own false identity, that's a different story, okay? But for you, if you're just starting out, just be with this and enjoy it, right? All right, so look, again, my name's Crystalline Bell, and I'm the founder of the Alchemy Coach Method. And I'm the founder of the 6-figure Alchemy Coach certification. I work with women who want to become certified alchemy coaches, and I take you through an 18-month journey that begins with your own personal healing and ends with you coaching others through this process in your own business. And I want to talk to you about my program. So I'll do that in another talk. I'm not going to do it right here. But what I want you to know is that if you're listening to this, there are more lessons to come. This is our very first lesson. Lessons are released twice a week. They are delivered to your inbox on Mondays and Thursdays. They come with a worksheet. The worksheet lasts for the entire unit, and the unit is 2 weeks long. So you're going to get 4 lessons to 1 unit, okay? And what you should do, it's free to join the Alchemy Coach School. The school is not the certification. I want to be very clear about that. Alchemy Coach School is where I, Crystalline, gets to talk about alchemy in the way that I want to just talk about it, okay? This is a way for me to educate the world on alchemy, coaching, and this method, which you are going to find is mind-blowingly good, okay? I know you're going to find it good because it's working on people, and they're like, girl, this is good. And I'm like, I know. God channeled it through me. Thank you, God. So, if you haven't signed up for the school, sign up for it. If you are already in the school, then you should keep your eyes open for your next lesson. And you should also get the worksheet and start working on the worksheet. When you do the worksheet, make sure that you go back into the community and share with me how you're doing with the material. If you have questions, ask them of me there in the community. Please do not send me private messages about the work. This is community work. All right. So share your work in the community because this is how we help other people. If we're doing private coaching together, then you may message me privately. But if we're not doing private work together, then keep it in the community so that I can help other people by helping you, and you can also receive help by other people sharing what they're going through in the community as well. All right. Thanks so much for listening. I look forward to seeing you soon. And remember, if you're watching this on video, then please subscribe to the channel and sign up for the school. Okay? All right. Bye for now, friends. Bye.